All right, looks like it's up. I'm gonna give it up. Collins, good to see you. Have a good time.
All right, finals time, and we're actually already underway. We had a little trouble getting the perspective of Mason, so we're gonna be watching from
Piper's side.
Piper's side.
Yeah, and it looks like we have kind of already passed the point at which Piper can do things to get under Mason in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Mason's got blockers.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need, and he didn't have to shock himself at all. That's 2 concealed courtyards and a blooming marsh. He did no damage to himself.
That's impressive. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if there's one thing that I would say would be indicative of how I expect this match to play out, it's this board state.
Yeah.
Is that I think that the Absent player is going to be heavily favored, just due to the fact that the inevitability of the rallies existing. If any of those land, it's just going to be game over.
And there's 7 of those.
Yeah. And it's just going to be so hard to punch through the board state.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah, we saw just a block for 1 damage with a Blood Artist in play, and then a Lightning Strike to Zulaport Cutthroat.
You have to get those off the board.
Yeah,
I think that's good prioritization.
But it's a bad exchange. 2 mana for 2 mana, and they gain a life.
Right.
Like, that's not... You're not getting ahead there. Luris comes into play. It's going to just recast one of these Hunted Witnesses.
Sure.
Which dies and puts a lifelinker in.
Took 4 to do that.
Yeah.
So this Eidolon is doing a little bit of work, but...
Yeah. And this Ash Zealot does keep that Luris from really going nuts here.
Right.
And, no main deck removal, of course.
Mm-hmm. But I think that the Zulaport Cutthroat might be worth 4 damage to get into play.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's close. So...
The main concern is that Piper does have Boros Charms, where not all of these decks do. So one thing that he's thinking about is, like, am I putting myself in a spot where I could just get burned out from hand?
Sure.
Is kind of the scary thing. And that Ash Zealot keeps, like, the lifelink from being guaranteed life on attacks. But, if you were to cast the Cutthroat here and then make some attacks with the lifelinkers that, like, force blocks and that forces some amount of life gain to happen and can put him pretty safely out of range of any number of burn spells. Looks like that's not what he's going for, so given the amount of mana over there, this may represent a
I suspect that we are digging for a Cartel Aristocrat. That's what that attack felt like to me.
Yeah.
Wild Slash is pretty good here. Being able to take care of the Luris or some other problematic permanent is going to be pretty good.
I mean, Luris just as a 3/2 lifelink is like...
Yeah, just swinging in with the Luris like you mentioned. I think that the Ash Zealot First Strike prevents that from happening.
Yes.
So...
yeah, that 2/2 First Strike body is pretty relevant here. Just, like, makes the combat not really... the combat kind of intrinsically favors Mason because he just wants his creatures to die.
Right.
But, he can't win the fights, at least.
And, this we are talking about how it feels pretty one-sided, but this isn't over for Piper.
Right.
There's certainly a lot of stuff that could happen that could turn this around, but given the fact that now I see another Cruel Celebrant in the graveyard and a Cartel Aristocrat, I just know that a rally here is going to be game over.
And I think
that's just what this is.
I believe this is just a lethal rally.
Yep. And that's going to do it for game 1.
Yep.
So one of the cards that I know that Piper has access to post-board is Grafdigger's Cage, and I suspect that to be pretty necessary here.
I appreciate Piper allowing the rally to resolve so we could see exactly what's coming into play off of that.
Yes.
That is a very lethal rally to Ancestors.
There it all is.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got some tools.
Yep. Searing Blood's good. Grafdigger's Cage is good. Chain to the Rocks is not bad, but you don't want to dilute yourself.
Yeah, the question is really, like, what do the games look like where Piper's coming out on top?
Yeah.
And I suspect that the answer to that is, I think it definitely involves a Grafdigger's Cage, or involves Mason not drawing one of the rally effects. Like, those are the scenarios where I think that Piper could win.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that we're actually going to be able to watch from this perspective, because this definitely seems like the more interesting side of things, like a little more decisions happening. But
yeah, I think the biggest key card for Mason here is those deadweights.
Yeah.
And I think if he draws a deadweight, I think that it's going to be one of the biggest uphill climbs that we have in our tournament.
Yeah.
For a Piper to win. Just that reusable removal spell that takes out whatever is the problematic creature.
Kill your thing, kills everything. Turn 4 Luris, kill your other thing. That's going to be really difficult.
Definitely.
Because the board states where Piper's winning definitely involve many creatures attacking and having to be chumped and that kind of thing. So,
yeah. I mean, when I was talking about this matchup with Jeremy a minute ago, I was talking about how there is one card that the mono red deck has been able to play that crushes this matchup. But playing Luris means that you sacrifice the ability to play a Rampaging Ferocidon.
Rampaging Ferocidon. Okay, that's it. Yeah.
A Rampaging Ferocidon in play
is just game over.
This deck can't beat. It just can't.
Could you imagine a world where the sideboard of these mono red decks, like say this rally deck becomes really popular and people still want to play red.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, I'm playing Luris, but I just have these 4 Rampaging Ferocidons in my sideboard.
Well, I don't think
support them in.
I don't think Luris is a good card in this matchup.
I certainly don't as well. Yeah, I agree with that. So here's the dead weight that you mentioned being a bad sign. Yeah, and it's going to be able to take out the first creature played.
Yep.
It's a pretty excellent start to the game. And
the Blooming Marsh is actually pretty important. The fact that Mason does not have to shock himself in order to play this dead weight.
Yeah. That certainly feels pretty good. We were talking about the green splash being a little awkward, but Temple Garden can cast Fiend Artisan, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, true. Ash Salad is an important 2 to have here. Takes a little bit of the edge off of the turn 4 Luris. Oh my goodness, Stitcher Supplier is just so good here.
I'll take a Stitcher Supplier.
Just a little bit of life, a lot of cards in the graveyard. You get to just have a nice turn of cast a spell, play a tap land.
Right.
And then this Fiend Artisan is going to be huge.
Yeah. I wonder if it was actually worth... I mean, it's a lot of damage. 4 damage to be able to do a better, in quotes, better curve of being able to go 2-drop here and then 2-drop, 1-drop next turn.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's worth all of the damage that you'd be taking from that. But you'd be shocking twice, and you'd probably be taking the damage off of this Ash Salad. It's probably not worth it.
I kind of like this line because what this does is this actually puts the Stitcher Supplier into the graveyard, and then the Fiend Artisan gets cast. So this Fiend Artisan comes down this turn just probably gigantic.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly how
prioritizing
big,
the Fiend Artisan, I like that a lot for sure. And we're about to find out how big it is. Looks like
it's only a 3/3.
It's just a 3/3.
Okay,
no big deal.
So that's something that Piper can beat.
Yeah.
And the fact that Luris was the play this turn means that Piper's hand probably has a fair bit of removal in it.
Yes. Yeah.
And just a lightning strike here represents being able to get through for great start.
There's a lightning bolt for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you can play lightning bolt in Pioneer, nobody else is allowed to. Maybe give it a shot. If this is another spell, then the Lava Runner gets in for 2.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, this is how you win this. This is how you win this.
Yeah. So just a phenomenal turn there, being able to swing in.
And
for a bunch of damage,
really
down to 7, and no board presence.
That Stitcher Supplier just didn't hit what Mason wanted to hit, basically.
Yeah. Only hitting, what was it, 100 Witness off of all of the Stitcher Supplier stuff.
Yep.
Not what you wanted to see.
But now what Mason gets to do, he has a 100 Witness and a Stitcher Supplier in his graveyard. So this rally gives him 2 blockers, one of which fills up his graveyard, and the other one leaves a 1/1 behind. And that's going to allow him to cast Return to the Ranks on his turn.
True. Unfortunately, it's just going to be those... well, I guess you get the Fiend Artisan as well.
No, because this is only a rally for 1.
Okay.
He may just be dead to burn spells here.
Yep. Well, we're at 1.
Yep. And none of these blockers have... Oh, my goodness.
It's just a flurry of burn
That's
spells.
how you do it.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to get a Game 3.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped.
Moving on. You love to see it. Definitely stole one on the play is what it felt like that was.
Stole one on the play. Yeah, a little bit.
Stole one on the play. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Like we were talking about how that was a pretty solid start to, or pretty solid opener for Mason. So if it is possible to fight through that, then
if that Fiend Artisan were a 4/4, the game would have been pretty different.
Oh yeah,
Piper would have had to aim multiple spells at it. and that just would have been a really different situation.
Right. I agree. So, yeah, we'll see how things shape up for the penultimate game of this tournament. How exciting!
Well, this is the ultimate game of the tournament because they are 1-1. Penultimate is the second to last of a thing.
Oh,
so
there you go.
The more you know.
Yes, this is going to be the ultimate game.
Yes.
In that case, I like it. Yeah, I'm excited. Let's get into it.
This hand looks.
I like this hand.
This hand looks good. Yeah, it looks good to me.
Yeah, Stitcher Supplier into Seder Wayfinder, and we have our dead weight.
Yep.
It's got pretty much everything that we want.
And it is on the play, so Piper's not getting those like free pieces of damage by just like being ahead for a turn. So
yeah,
the Stitcher Supplier just represents a block.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna block.
I'm
probably not.
Yeah,
quite
I
yet.
think you can get 2 damage out of 2 life out of a Stitcher Supplier.
Yeah. We're gonna have to take 2 here to get the Seder Wayfinder into play, but I think it's worth.
I think it is worth it.
And I mean, our graveyard is already chock full. We're just
multiple cutthroats.
Yeah, we're just 1 aristocrat away from any rally being lethal.
Yeah. Do you like the double block here? To force. Oh my goodness.
Is it gonna happen?
I mean, that's gigantic. I don't know what Mason can do about this, honestly.
Yeah, we did not see Mason bring in any sort of removal for an artifact. So this certainly could be huge. We're like, a lot of the things that we were leaning on here, we're not really going to be able to do well,
including Luris.
Time to find decay. Okay, so there is a decay.
Okay,
yeah.
He's got decay. So that is absolutely what he needs to draw here.
Yeah. Just playing out some creatures. I might not like a double block, but yeah, and I guess we're just probably gonna chump block if someone else comes in.
Just see how much this thing gets prowessed up, and
make your assessment from there. So just player triggers look a lot worse.
Yeah, when there's a cage in play.
There's a cage in play.
Yeah, no kidding. And the deadweight is just a removal spell now instead of just this unstoppable sort of.
Right. Yeah. All right. Luris just as the 3/2 body. Honestly, not the worst.
Oh boy.
You know what is the worst?
More lands.
Concealed Courtyard here.
Oh boy.
Not really what you want to see, but I believe that we're going to be casting our own Luris.
Yeah. Which is a little worse because Piper can aim removal spells, and Mason doesn't have any removal spells available to him right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and any cage that he draws is certainly going to have to go after this. Or, sorry,
any decay has to...
Right. Yeah, abrupt decay.
Right, and that means he's effectively 2 pieces away from doing his combo. It is now a 2-card combo, abrupt decay plus a rally effect.
Right. Yeah, and Piper's draws this game have been...
kind of fire.
Pretty fire. All right, double that fire.
Oh, man.
Wow. Interesting choice to just... I guess we wanted the attack with the 2/2. Okay, so I understand.
Yeah. So that gets in for 5.
Get in for 5. I'm certain that we're happy to trade off this Luris for the bodies on the board. There's a return to the ranks, but we still need the decay to turn it on. I think that this match is probably going to just come down to whether or not the decay is going to be found in time.
Yep, that's the only thing that matters.
Lightning Strike face. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this 1/1 isn't
It's only going to be soaking up 2 damage,
yeah.
probably.
Well, yeah, and then the lifelink, so it's kind of the same either way,
stage,
and this turns on the light up the stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be able to chump the 3 either way, but this does lead to outs of like land haste creature or something.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this Ash Zealot in just kind of waiting to come out and put some more pressure on. Certainly not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're down to like 1 turn to draw abrupt decay at this point.
Right. And even then, Return of the Ranks, it doesn't hit everything. You have to.
Oh, that's right. That's not a rally.
Yeah, you have to.
That's
do
only
a lot
returning
of stuff.
2 creatures to play. Yeah, actually, this is just lethal.
This is just lethal.
That's just lethal.
That's gonna do it.
Wow.
All right.
All right. I think we got an upset victory.
Yeah. congratulations.
Yeah, congrats to Piper.
Piper Powell
Yep.
taking down the second tournament of our series.